So my name's Ola, Dr. Ola Brown. People call me Niger Flying Doctor. That's actually my Twitter handle. I'm a medical physician and I'm an entrepreneur. And I started the first indigenous air ambulance service in West Africa. So I guess medical training obviously made me think about starting a business that was in line with the discipline I studied. And then also a passion for flying. I really liked flying helicopters. I really liked aviation. So combining two things that I was really interested in to form a business was important to me. And also financial stability was important to me. So I didn't want to go into a business that was going to make me poor or going to make me struggle. So for me, it was very, very important to have financial security and sustainability as well, especially in an environment like this. So I think it was a combination of things that I was super passionate about and also things that I knew that I could turn into a business that would be profitable and sustainable. The role of our company is to transport patients from an area where they're overwhelmed, the level of care, to a more suitable level of care for them. In medical school, we don't actually get any training on business at all. We don't get any training on finance or investment. We don't get any training really on leadership. And these are very, very important things for starting a business. So upon finishing medical school, I had to work really, really hard in terms of reading books, watching videos, taking short courses in accounting and finance, in leadership, in culture, and understanding the world of business, understanding sales, marketing, building a brand, operations, organizational structure, processes, to really take myself from being just somebody that knows how to give drip and injection to somebody that knows how to build an institution. So my customers are sick people, but they come to me by all sorts of channels. So some are referred by their insurance companies, some are referred by their doctors, some are referred by military organizations, humanitarian organizations that work in remote areas, some are referred by their companies. So a lot of companies work offshore sometimes or in remote locations, and they refer patients to us also. So we have two tiers of customers. We have the people that pay the bills, and then we have the patients that benefit from the service. If I was selling like a certain kind of soap, then I would say, it smells nice, it cleans your body very well, and you can get like 5 for the the price of 5 for the price of 10, and it gives extra foam. But for an air ambulance service, it's a life-saving service. There's over 1 billion people across the world that die not because the help isn't available anywhere, but because they were unable to get to a doctor in the right time frame. And it's a really, really serious problem. One of the biggest problems in healthcare is actually logistics. People just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I'm sure everybody watching can think of a situation where somebody died, not because there was not a surgeon somewhere or a facility somewhere that was capable of managing the patient's illness, but just because they found themselves in the wrong place and they were unlucky. And there was no way to transport them to the correct place where they could be treated. And sort of our mission at Flying Doctors is to make sure that that happens far less, especially in Africa. I think the main thing is that we're here in Nigeria. So we do have other air ambulance services that occasionally pick patients from Nigeria. But the problem is, if you want to transport somebody from Port Harcourt to Lagos, there's no point in calling somebody in South Africa to come and do the transport. If you're transporting somebody from Ghana to Liberia, again, it doesn't really make that much sense to call somebody from the UK or Germany to do that transfer. And even if you're transferring somebody from Lagos to London, my aircraft is outside there. it takes literally 5 minutes to set it up and get ready to go. Whereas anybody coming in from abroad will have to set up abroad, come into Nigeria, have all their clearances. So it usually takes a few days before they can get here. So I guess our main sort of selling point is our speed and our local knowledge. Business is a completely different ballgame to your area of technical expertise. And that goes the same if you're a lawyer, it's the same if you're an accountant, it's the same if you're a pilot, it's the same if you're a hairdresser. Not every pilot can successfully run an airline. Not every hairdresser can successfully open a salon and start employing other hairdressers. Not every accountant can successfully open an accounting firm. Not every lawyer can successfully run a law firm, because the skills needed for the practice of your technical work are completely different from what you need for the business of your technical work. And I wish I realized that difference earlier than I did. Focus. I'm probably like the most serious person you would ever meet. I am 100% focused on my business. I don't do much else aside from work. So I don't watch TV, for instance. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to music. I really, really just focus on business. And people might say that that's boring. It makes you an uninteresting person. But I think that when you're running a business in a business environment like this, and you want to be serious about it, and you don't have a safety net, then you need a lot of focus. So my best business decision was coming to Nigeria. I don't think I could have ever built this business in England. I don't think any of our successful entrepreneurs in Nigeria would have been able to build similar businesses in England or America. I think one of the biggest mistakes, like I discussed before, was being unprepared for business and thinking that since I could, diagnose thyroid disease and diabetes, that meant I knew it all. And I think that a lot of doctors feel like that. In fact, a lot of professionals feel like that. And I think that when you're a professional going into business, you have to become quite humble and understand that business is not about the number of degrees that you have. There are Igbo guys that are importing spare parts, doing their transportation business that haven't been to school, that are actually very, very good business people. So it's about staying humble and cultivating a learning mindset, so continually learning new skills, continually improving yourself, and that's what I've always tried to do. For ordinary businesses, you really need to learn how to lead. And leading is not about being a boss, it's more about serving, it's more about improving people, helping people to grow, helping people to improve their skills, and being a good listener, and being authentic and open. You've reminded me of something. It's so strange when I hear like a company has not like paid salaries in 6 months or all of these stories. I don't even start to spend until my salaries have been paid. So even at Christmas, when you have all these relatives calling you and asking, was that money for Christmas or anything, I'm like, I can't even think about that until I've paid salaries and even paid bonuses if I've made enough money to do that. So I think you keep your people motivated, not your employees, your team members, your friends, your family. You keep them motivated by putting them first. If I was to say one thing, it requires a lot of focus and it requires a lot of knowledge beyond your area of expertise. So I'm running an air ambulance business, but I'm also an expert in macroeconomics. I'm also an expert in investment. I'm also an expert in exchange rates. I'm also an expert in negotiating with the bank. And these things you don't necessarily have to do. If you're running a business in the UK, you don't necessarily have to know what the rate of inflation is. Who cares? It's going to remain stable because the people, the leadership of that country, it's a job, they make it stable. So you don't have to worry about these things. You just have to worry about your product and the business. But Nigeria, it might not be stable. Interest rate can crash, currency exchange rate can crash. So you have to be watching everything. Both the things that you can't control and the things that you can control. So I would say, as much as possible, know more than you need to know. Know about the external factors of your business. Know your finances. Understand your balance sheets. Know what you're paying in interest. Know what you're paying in tax. Understand how much you have to set aside in residuals to grow your business, because obviously it's going to be very difficult for you to use a loan only to grow your business, because the loan is at 20%. So you need some residuals aside to mix with the loan at least to try and grow it. Have a good relationship with your bank. They can bail you out when nobody else can bail you out if you have the relationship. If you don't have the relationship, your business can fail only on that relationship basis. So have a good relationship with your bankers. Yeah, that's about it. Home and abroad. Here at home, there's tons of really amazing female entrepreneurs that I admire a lot, that have really sort of broken ground in different areas. And most of them are like my really good girlfriends. So people like Tara Fella-Durotoye, for instance, she's grown like one of the biggest makeup brands in Africa. A really, really good friend of mine, and somebody that I respect a lot, somebody that I take advice from. And the other ladies in government who are also my girlfriends, Jumoke Oduwole, for instance, Yewande Sadiku, for instance. These are people that have done very well in the private sector. And then we can't forget like the godfathers of business, my uncle Aliko. His picture is actually on my wall. As in, Dangote is like my number one inspiration from when I was actually in university. I'm very, very boring. I relax with business videos and I watch documentaries. That's about it. So I have a ton of business videos and business books, and I actually find it really relaxing. I mean, not everybody can listen to Wizkid and go for concerts. I'm just not that type of person, and I think that that's okay. Like, I really like listening to educational books. I like watching documentaries, and that's really the way I relax.